In the 1930s, animation was seen as a men's medium, and the Disney studio was no exception. Most, if not all, of their female applicants would become inkers and painters, not the ones actually creating the story. But that changed as early as 1935, when Disney hired their first female member of the studio's story department. Her name was Bianca Majolie. Hey guys, it's Shannon from Network 1901, back with another video inspired by the book Ink and Paint by Mindy Johnson. If you want to check that other video out, you can click the card up above, and be sure to subscribe so you can find out more about the women of Disney. But for now, let's get back to Disney's historic feminine first. Bianca was an Italian exchange student who attended McKinley High, just a few years ahead of Walt Disney. She didn't know him or his friends personally, but he did draw some pictures in her yearbook. After graduating, Bianca went on to study design at the Grand Central School of Art, and later became the art director of JCPenney for 5 years. In the spring of 1934, she wrote Walt a letter, expressing interest in working for his animation department. Now, remember what I said about this being a men's medium in the 1930s? Well, according to an interview with Grace Huntington, who would be added as a story artist a year after Bianca, she recalled Walt telling her, "It takes a long time to train a good story man. Then, if the story man turns out to be a story girl, the chances are 10 to 1 that she will marry and leave the studio high and dry, with all the money that had been spent on her training gone to waste, and there'll be nothing to show for it." So Walt would never consider hiring a woman animator, because she was seen as an inevitable loss for the studio. But if she could write, then theoretically she could write from home after she got married, and it would be up to the studio if they used her work or not. So, after months of correspondence, a review of her work, and a lunch meeting, Walt finally offered Bianca a job. On February 19th, 1935, Bianca Majolie started work as Walt Disney Studios' first female artist in the story department. Being the only woman in a group of men who might have never worked with a woman before was challenging to say the least. Story meetings were high pressure, and the men were not always the most accommodating. These meetings often called for action demonstrations, and one had to be assertive and shout to be heard. This was no place for shyness. However, Bianca's more delicate sensibilities actually helped the story department widen their range of concepts and ideas, often bringing to the table stories they had never considered. One of the ways she did this was by playing with the concept of pathos, or a quality that evokes pity or sadness. This comes into play in Bianca's story, Elmer the Elephant, which was featured in Disney's Silly Symphony. Originally a 13-page script called The Romance of Baby Elephant, this story was adapted into a short about a little elephant who didn't quite fit in, and was intended as a reflection of Bianca's challenges as the only woman working within a group of men. Little Elmer's struggle evokes sympathy and investment from the audience, and makes the ending payoffs that much sweeter. In their book, Too Funny for Words, Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson, two of Disney's master animators, give Bianca credit for elevating the art of animated storytelling. They stated that, "We could not have made any of the feature films without learning this important lesson. Pathos gives comedy the heart and warmth that keeps it from becoming brittle." Bianca's career yielded tons of concept art and development work, but other than Elmer the Elephant, none of that would make it onto the screen. While she would submit proposals for other shorts, they would either be reworked to death, never completed, or dropped altogether. This was made even more difficult by the imposing and isolating atmosphere created by the other male artists. Bianca even stated that in her final years with Disney, the only thing keeping her sane were her ceramic classes, where she was finally able to create a work of art that wouldn't be changed or torn apart. At the end of her time with Disney, Bianca took a leave of absence, only to come back in 1940 to find that she had been replaced. She got married in 1942 to fellow artist Carl Heilburn, and in 1953 they opened the Heilburn Studio Gallery in Los Angeles, where they showcased their work and other artists. It wasn't all doom and gloom with Disney, though. Bianca's hiring left a lasting impact that opened the door for more women to follow. Women like Grace Huntington, Sylvia Holland, Ethel Kolsar, and all of the women that we have today. Plus, more light is being shed on this subject, as we've already seen with the Pixar spark short Pearl, telling the story about a little pink ball of yarn that doesn't fit in with her all-male co-workers, which was also inspired by its writers Kristen Lester's real-life experience in animation. As with any field, someone had to get the ball rolling, and in Disney's case, that was Bianca Majolie. I hope you enjoyed this little glimpse at one of Disney's unsung legends, and if you want to learn more about Disney's hidden history, subscribe and check out our other videos. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and be sure to let us know who you'd like to see us cover next. That's everything got for you today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!